Jordan Peterson was on Piers Morgan's show in the UK. This is from about 8 or 10 days ago. And Piers asked him, how does this war end?
How does this war end, do you think?
We're going to find out this winter. Well, I know what I would do in his shoes. I'd wait till the first cold snap and shut off the taps.
Right.
Well,
because
of course he's going to do that.
He's got the control over the energy.
Of course he's going to do that. He's already warned the West with his insistence that maintenance problems were necessary and the pipelines had to be shut down.
Do you think he will use a nuclear weapon?
If necessary, he'll use a tactical battlefield weapon.
Even if it starts World War III?
It won't, probably.
Why? Because we wouldn't respond?
What's in it for us?
If you let him do it and get away with it, where does that end? Then you are into a hit analogy.
Look, you can get yourself in a situation, no problem, where there's no good outcome. We're trying to do that right now on every front we can possibly imagine. We can easily get ourselves in a situation where it's hell this way and hell that way. That's highly probable.
The reason I wanted to show you that clip, I mean, you guys know my feelings about Jordan, but it's so interesting how there's so little honest political analysis about what's going on in Russia, Ukraine. In essence, if you say anything like, I don't really want World War III, I am a little bit concerned that we're poking the bear with this guy, it doesn't mean that what he did was right or that Crimea should be taken back to Russia or any of that stuff. They basically call you a Russian operative. This is exactly what Hillary Clinton did to Tulsi Gabbard when she wasn't taking the Democrat Party line on Russia from 2 years ago and on Syria, et cetera. This is what they do. So there's very little divergence from mainstream opinion on this, which is that we should just keep escalating. I, for one, would prefer not to be involved in World War III. I've had a nice run the last couple of years. Things are feeling good. Could we maybe not do the dropping nukes all over the place? But Jordan calmly, because Jordan's not a political analyst. He's not purely a political analyst. What he's talking about is human psychology, the human psychology that is driving Putin, that is driving all these international actors, some to escalate, some to not understand what they're escalating for. Give him more weapons, keep defeating him. That seems right. But you have to understand human psychology of what happens to people when they're on the verge of losing. What happens to that wounded dog in the corner in those last moments? You think it might lash out? So Jordan continued to lay out some of the outcomes that could happen to all of us if we keep escalating this thing.
Everybody I met in Kyiv, the capital city, were utterly resolute. Don't give them an inch of our land.
Yeah, well, I can't speak to that because I don't know what the preconditions for peace might be. But I do know that naive notions that the Russians are going to lose somehow, or that we're going to win, I just don't understand. I don't understand that. Well, what do you mean we're going to win? What are we going to win here exactly?
Well, I guess a victory would be that the Russians retreated from Ukraine.
With Ukraine in ruins.
Right.
Well, okay, fine. That's a hell of a victory. Like, I think Putin could manage that because I think he could tell his people, and I think they might buy it. It's like, we accomplished our objective. We devastated Ukraine and we kept it out of the hands of the West. We can't win against Vladimir Putin anyways, because you cannot win against someone you cannot say no to. Period. And we can't say no to Putin because we sold our soul for his oil and gas. And we did that to elevate our moral stature in relationship to saving the planet. And so here we are, facing a very dire winter, hoisted on the petard of our own foolishness and moral presumption. We're saving the planet. We'll see. I don't think so.
You could trade every political analyst on CNN, MSNBC, et cetera, for a little of that right there.